us today is the administrator of NASA, Charlie Bolden. And let me give you just a moment's background. He's already frowning of Charlie. Charlie and I like to chuckle that we were together. We served on the Management Advisory Council of the FAA before either of us ever thought we would have the jobs that we both hold today as administrators, respectively, of the FAA and NASA. So we refer to ourselves as the two graduates of the class of '09 that sort of made it out the door. But it was a great experience, and I got to know Charlie very well. The country has chosen very well in picking someone with his great depth of experience, his flying background, whether it was in the military as a fighter pilot, his service to this country as a combat veteran, his service in space, having gone, I believe, on 4 shuttles, commanding 2. It's an incredibly impressive record, and I think it speaks incredibly well to the foresight that this country had in picking someone to lead NASA with that type of experience, someone who has, quote, been there and done that, and done it well. So it's a great pleasure for me to welcome up here to share a few words with you today, the administrator of NASA. And it's a great pleasure because, number one, we have a person who is a good friend of aviation. He's a good friend of space, but for me it's a particular pleasure because he's a good friend of mine, Charlie Bolden.
This is great. Administrator Babbit, just to be formal. Randy, thanks very much for the very kind remarks. It is a pleasure for me to be here, and I'm going to take issue with something that George said in a second, but I have some prepared remarks that I will share with you as we go. As we near the release of President Obama's fiscal year 2012 budget request, I think most of you know that facilitating the success of commercial space transportation is high on our priorities. As we continue our #1 priority of safely flying out the space shuttle by the end of this year, NASA continues to embrace potential partnerships with the U.S. commercial space industry to enable safe, reliable, and cost-effective access to low Earth orbit and to the International Space Station for crew and cargo as soon as possible. I want to thank our workforce, including our many contractors, for their dedication during this past year as we made some big changes to start reorienting our work not only toward this expanded commercial role, but towards long-term job growth and a vibrant economy through increased investment in research, technology, and development. At NASA, we come to work every day, as we say, to reach new heights and reveal the unknown, so the things we do and the things we learn will benefit all humankind. Our emphasis on the critical importance of commercial capabilities comes from our belief that they are essential to our future ability to conduct human and robotic exploration to deep space destinations, and will support the fullness of all our work in human spaceflight, science, aeronautics, and exploration systems. NASA has always thrived on innovation and embracing the new and challenging. Industry has been our partner since our inception. We're ready to take this partnership to a new level and create the good jobs and economic opportunities that come with it. Now let me take issue with something George said. George said in the beginning, industry did not have a seat at the table. That's not right. Industry has always been at the table, and that's what we all need to understand. We have never built a rocket. Everybody understand that? NASA has never, maybe a sounding rocket, okay? But we have never built a big rocket, a rocket that has taken science instruments into space, a rocket that has taken people into space. It's always been a NASA industry team that has done that. And that's the relationship that we want to perpetuate. If you're looking for somebody, people always talk about competition. If you're looking for competition to the commercial entities from NASA, you're not going to get it. There's got to be 2 people in the ring to have a fight. I'm not in the ring for access to low Earth orbit. I tell people that there are 2 things this nation needs to do. We need to provide access to low Earth orbit, and we need to explore. We explore. Any questions about that? We explore. Access to low Earth orbit is something that NASA has had to provide for years because there was no industry capability there. We're trying to help develop that capability to the fullest now so that we can take cargo and crew to orbit. So when George talked about the tipping point, for NASA, the tipping point is long since passed. We are irrevocably, irretrievably, irreconcilably beyond the tipping point. We can't turn around and go back. When I retired the space shuttle after STS-135 in June, that's it for NASA access to low Earth orbit. And the sooner everybody in this room and around the world understand that, the better off we're going to be. We need you. We cannot survive without you. Exploration is what we do. We can't do access and exploration. The budgets won't allow it, for one thing. And the nation cannot stand that, because we have got to restore our economy. We've got to provide the capability to produce a thriving economy. And as Randy said, we're on the verge of doing that. We just got to make it work, and it's going to be hard. Our work with the commercial space community actually already extends beyond low Earth orbit. As I just finished saying, we have always used commercial launch systems for our science missions well into deep space. You know, if I didn't put it out of the shuttle, it probably went off a commercial rocket. Planetary missions, communication satellites, you name it. If it didn't go out of the space shuttle, it probably went on a commercial rocket. So in this room, we need to get our heads straight. You know, we need to get our heads wrapped around that, and we need to stop fighting and saying, well, NASA is not this. I can't tell you any stronger. We are big fans of commercial space. We are huge fans of commercial space. What I need for the industry to do, though, is get out of the single-minded thinking of transportation. Commercial space is everything when you talk about low Earth orbit. We're going to listen to Mr. Bigelow, I hope. I'm hoping I can stay, because so far he's maybe not the only person, but he's one person who really gets it, that there are two pieces to low Earth operations. You've got to have somewhere to go. You've got to have somewhere to go. And the International Space Station is only one place. And you know, I've gotten the president to say, we'll keep it there until 2020. After 2020, then we need other places. And so we need to grow those destinations in low Earth orbit. So that's what we need to work on. We need places where scientists can go. We need places where engineers can go. We need places where medical experimenters can go. That's commercial space. And so we've got to work on that. And we have a difficult road ahead. I don't want to kid you. Very difficult road ahead. But it's not because of anybody in this room. It's we have, you know, people that make decisions that we've got to just convince that we know what we're doing. As Randy said, safety is paramount. We cannot hurt people. We cannot lose cargo. You know, every once in a while, God intervenes and things happen. But we should not have it happen because we slacked off. So that's really important. Last fall, NASA's Innovative Lunar Demonstration Data Project awarded contracts to purchase valuable data from 6 entrepreneurial companies that are planning their own robotic missions to the moon's surface within the next few years. These firms are making good progress, and recognizing that they are also competing for the Google Lunar X Prize, NASA welcomes the resulting public-private synergy and potential to contribute to affordable and sustainable space exploration. The strongly bipartisan NASA Authorization Act of 2010 cleared up a lot of uncertainty this past year. It gave us the go-ahead to continue our work on Commercial Orbital Transportation Services, or COTS program, and even the COTS augmentation, and commercial crew development programs, and undertake a number of actions that lay the groundwork for future commercial partnerships. A lot of our partners are right in this room today. The Act allows us to make another round of awards for our CC-DEV program, which will further advance commercial crew space transportation systems concepts. We have a full batch of second-round applications from companies eager to participate. We've achieved quite a few recent milestones in expanding the capabilities of industry to open up this new sector of the economy. Just this past Monday, I was at the Stennis Space Center in Mississippi for a test of the AJ-26 engine that will power Orbital Sciences Taurus II to the International Space Station as well as provide launch capability for other government and commercial missions. In partnership with Aerojet, Orbital achieved another important milestone and moved closer to providing that vital cargo delivery service to the ISS. Monday's successful test once again demonstrates our ongoing commitment at NASA to the COTS initiative, a program where we are poised to gain 2 new launch vehicles, 2 new spacecraft, and 2 end-to-end systems from Orbital and SpaceX capable of delivering cargo to the ISS, all for very modest financial investment. I think most people in this room were excited, as were we at NASA, when last December SpaceX became the first company in history to launch a capsule to space, orbit Earth, and safely deorbit it and land intact. I want to thank the FAA for granting the first commercial re-entry license in history to make that historic mission a reality. Last week, I visited a small company called Blue Origin in Kent, Washington, that's working on its own space vehicle called New Shepard. Specifically, we're helping them gain traction with their abort system through the CC-DEV program. Also last week, my deputy, Lori Garver, visited Bigelow Aerospace in Las Vegas and Sierra Nevada and Boulder, Colorado. Bigelow is taking a NASA concept for expandable habitats and developing it to a marketable product. Sierra Nevada's Dream Chaser vehicle is in prototype stage right now and is giving students, the next generation of leaders, hands-on experience with real space vehicle design and construction as we progress to this new capability. These and many other companies, both large and small, are a big part of the future of space. And they, partnering with us at NASA, are going to help deliver that future by out-innovating, out-educating, and out-building the competition around the world. There are a lot of great presentations coming up at this conference. I wish I could be here to hear them all, but please give them all your ear. The commercial space industry is not a homogeneous sector of our economy, by the way, not by any stretch of the imagination. And that's what having new ideas is all about. The discussions and debates this week, or these few days, will be highly beneficial. I just wanted to, I'm always pausing to think if there's something else I want to interject that will be of import to all of you. Because I don't get a chance to speak to this kind of group very often. But I do want to take the opportunity to emphasize what I just said about listening to each other, debating with each other, arguing with each other, arguing with us. Because Randy, you didn't hear me say safety, 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 safety. That's always my #1 watchword. But my partner in crime over here said it for me. But I cannot reemphasize what he has said there. It is critical. And that's where we need for all of you to really dig into the human rating standards that we have put on the street. Because we know they're extreme. And we've got to make them right. But the only way we make them right is if we talk to each other and we sit in rooms together and we argue and we debate. Because this industry is going to turn things around for our nation. It's going to enable us to have a thriving economy once again. It's going to enable us to maintain our leadership in the world. And that's critical. So again, when I said I disagree with George about the tipping point not having been reached, it may not have been reached in terms of the market or anything else, but for me, it's passed. So please believe me when I say that. Once again, I join my friend, Administrator Randy Babbit, in welcoming you to this conference. We thank you for your participation, and I thank you for the opportunity to help open this conference. All of us in the NASA family look forward to the future that we're creating together. Thank all of you.